Happy Winterween, day one. It's 6:30 and I just got home from work. Longer day than I expected, which is fine. You know, it happens. We're okay. We're all okay. It's still gonna be great. But I just got home from work, which means that I am now free-ish to read. I have to do a little bit of editing for this channel and the other channel. Too many channels, okay? One channel is too many channels. I have two. Too many, okay? But I do have to do a little bit of editing, but then I am going to spend the rest of the night reading and stay up as late as I can without sacrificing my chances of getting to work on time in the morning. But since it's day one, I figured I would quickly go through my TBR because I think I've narrowed it down. It is subject to change because the year 2025 is the year of the mood reading. And so I am not going to force myself to read anything that I don't want to read or anything that's going to put me in a slump. We are doing what is best for us at any given time, you know? But I'm actually really excited for all of the books on my TBR. So I don't think I'm gonna have an issue at all. So let's go through the prompts. There are 5 prompts and I did choose 5 books. However, a couple of the books do fulfill a couple different prompts. So I've left myself some wiggle room if the week gets away from me, where I can still complete all the prompts without finishing every book. So actually the first book on my TBR, I got this recommendation from Gabby. She mentioned this novella on her TBR for the month, which thank God, because I'm so bad at like finding novellas and short stories and things like that. One of the prompts is to read a novella, manga, or listen to a spooky audiobook. So I could have definitely done an audiobook, but a novella is a great idea for a readathon. Obviously, it's shorter, so why wouldn't you try to do that? So she mentioned a book called The Doll's House by Lisa Unger, which is a novella. That's number 1. I downloaded it on my Kindle, which means I can read it in the dark, which is another prompt. That's 2 prompts. And there is a prompt that says, read a book with house in the title or on the cover. Doll's House. That's 3 prompts right there. So if I read this novella, I've technically already covered 3 of the prompts, okay? Like, that is giving me a lot of wiggle room. So thanks to Gabby for that, because I definitely would not have found that probably on my own. So that technically fulfills 3 prompts, but I do have 4 other books on the TBR. So let's talk about that. For read a book in the dark or at night, I really wanted to find a way to fit in Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix because it comes out this week. It comes out on Tuesday and the readathon is over on Thursday, so that doesn't give me a ton of time. But what I'm thinking, depending on how my week goes, I will either go and purchase the book, maybe with you guys, we'll do it together, and then read it only at night, okay? Or if I don't have time to get to the bookstore, I can purchase it on my Kindle and read it that way, which then I could read at night and in the dark. So that is what I'm using for that prompt because I just really wanted to fit it in and that was the only way I could figure out to fit it in, okay? The second prompt is read a horror or a thriller, and I'm reading another book that I really wanted to fit in, which is why it's here, American Rapture by CJ Leede. This is the latest book from the author of Mayfly, which is one of my favorite horror books of all time. So I've been dying to get to this. I love the cover. I've been obsessed with it since like it was announced, and I am embarrassed that I haven't read it yet. So I really wanted to fit it in. So here we go, read a horror. Then we have read a book with house in the title. Like I said, I could use The Doll's House for that, but I also wanted to try and read This Cursed House. And I actually already started this last night, so I'll talk about that in a minute. Then the 4th prompt is to read a book published 5 or more years ago, a horror book. And that was tricky. It was not as tricky as I thought. I went onto my Goodreads and to my TBR shelf, and I just went through by publication order and looked for everything that I have because I did make a physical TBR shelf on Goodreads. It might be a little outdated. I don't think I've added much to it in the past few months, but I had a lot on there. So I went through that and I looked to see what came out 5 years or more ago. And I had a few. I had more than I expected, but the one I chose is Horror Store by Grady Hendrix, which, yes, this is the second Grady Hendrix in my TBR. I won't apologize for that. I love him. I love him dearly. And it is a crime against, well, mainly against myself, but also against humanity and the entire book Community, and Grady that I haven't read this yet. I actually have put this on so many TBRs and I've started it a few times and I always, for some reason, I'm like, oh, like I'll just get to that later because I feel like it's gonna be short and it's gonna be fun and easy. And so then I try to tackle harder things, but why haven't I read this? That's so stupid. And actually, here's the most embarrassing part. I met Grady Hendrix at a book con. Remember when they used to do book cons? I met him at a book con. He was doing signings for his book, We Sold Our Souls. And it just came out, and it's a total lie. It was a total lie, but it just came out of my mouth. I said, oh my God, this is so exciting. I've read every single one of your books. And so he signed it and said, here's the last book to add to your collection. And at that point, I had not read all of his books because of this one. So we have to read it. That is a very long story that I probably will cut out of here. Maybe I'll put it at the end. I don't know. That was published, I think, in 2019 or 2020. So that was 5 years ago. So it counts. I'm gonna finally read it. I'm gonna finally read it, and I cannot wait. And then, like I said, the fifth one is to read a novella, which is when I will read The Doll's House. So this is the TBR plus The Doll's House and Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. This is the goal. This is the plan. We'll see what happens. So as far as reading goes, I did actually start this last night. I technically didn't wait till midnight, but I also technically would not have been awake at midnight. So I technically, I cheated a little bit. It's fine. It's okay though. I don't think anyone's gonna tell on me. I read a whopping 36 pages. 3 chapters before falling asleep. But so far, I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. I haven't heard much about this since it came out, which is weird because I feel like when it first came out, a lot of people were talking about it, but I don't feel like I've seen a lot of people read it. Maybe I'm not reaching the right people. I'm curious about it. So far we have, this is actually a historical horror. It's set in 1962. So we have Gemma. Gemma is a teacher and she has some, you know, situations, drama with her, I think her spouse or boyfriend, and also with her job, and she just like needed a fresh start. And she gets this opportunity to be a tutor for this family in New Orleans. So she packs up her bags and heads down there. And this is 1962, so it's in the middle of a lot of racial issues, which are very apparent because she's coming from Chicago and going to the South, and things are very different down there. So far, I don't know much. I know that she can see spirits, it seems like. I think that's like just something that she deals with, that she tries to ignore, but I think she can see spirits. And also, I think there's something going on with this house, because when she first got to town, everyone that she talked to was like, do not go there. Turn back, don't go there. I don't know why. Nobody knows. We won't know until we read it. It's intriguing so far. We've met the family. Like I said, I'm literally 30 pages in, but we've met the family. They're kind of weird. She's in the house, and that's kind of weird. And there's some weird things already happening, including the fact that she thought she was there to be a tutor and there's no child there. So I don't know. I don't know where this is going. I don't know where this could go, but I'm intrigued and I'm hoping that it's as good as I'm thinking it's going to be. So that's where we are. This is our first book that we are reading. I'm gonna try my best to get through as much of this as I can tonight. Then tomorrow we will try and play a little catch up after work when we get home, and we'll see where we are then. I don't know if I'll talk to you again tonight, but I will definitely update you tomorrow with whatever progress I make on this tonight, and hopefully it's a whole lot. Hopefully. Wouldn't that be awesome if I finished one book on the first day? Wouldn't that be... I'm manifesting. Wouldn't that be amazing? Spirits of my house, wouldn't that be amazing? Do you think they'll listen? Happy Winterween Day 1. I am so thrilled to be participating again. It's so funny because I now feel like I'm like marking time with these readathons because I've been participating in them for so long now. Like this is probably my third Winterween that I've done, but it's definitely my second Winterween that I've vlogged, because I did vlog last year. It was one of the last videos I made last year before I disappeared. And then Summerween, like I've been participating in that forever. And like, so now I feel like I remember like where I was exactly a year ago when Winterween started. I remember at the end of Winterween, I was heading to Atlanta to meet Katie Colson and visit my family. And I just remember it like it was yesterday. Like I remember how cold it was and like vlogging and coming home in jackets and vlogging and things like that. And so walking home today, I was like, oh my God, I'm in the same place a year later. Like it's just spooky. It's eerie and I like it. I like it and I hate it. 'Cause it's like, it's allowing me to have a better memory of things. Like, it's allowing me to remember where I was a year ago today, where normally I would have no, if you asked me what last January looked like for me, I would have no idea. But ever since starting this channel and like doing things like this readathon, it like gives you a marker of your time, which is really cool. So that's one of the perks, you know. Now I'm procrastinating. I'm gonna go do a little work and then do a lot of reading, hopefully. And I'll see you later. Happy Winterween, day 2. It is late in the day, and I have not given you an update all day. This day just completely got away from me. I worked longer than I expected. I came home and filmed with my cousin for our other channel, and that took a few hours, and then I was working on a couple of things editing wise, and now it's 10 p.m. Oops. But it's fine. It's all fine. Still feeling like it's gonna be fine. I think the more I say it, the less fine I seem, but really, truly, I do believe it's gonna be fine. So here's what I can update you with. Not much. I did not get as much reading done last night as I wanted to. I think I read like 100 pages of This Cursed House. It's here, it just doesn't have a dust jacket on it. I'm still invested, but it is a bit slow. But I feel like it could go somewhere really cool. I just don't know. Like right now the characters are just kind of like annoying me, but like they're supposed to be unlikable. A lot of the people in this family, this house she's staying at, like they're supposed to be unlikable, but it's like really getting to me sometimes. It's good though. I mean, the writing is great. I definitely feel immersed in the story. I just feel like I need it to like pick up a little bit. I need it to like, you know, I'm waiting for something like crazy to happen. I still have 200 pages, a little over 200 pages left, doing the best I can, okay? I knew these first 2 days were gonna be like slam-packed, that I wasn't gonna get a ton of reading done. Luckily, I am off tomorrow. I'm gonna be sitting right there in a blanket, reading all day. That's my plan. So we will certainly be able to finish this and hopefully maybe something else, or at least start something else. Tonight, I think what I'm gonna do is, because it's so late, I think I'm gonna get in bed and read the novella, The Doll's House, on my Kindle, because that is reading a book in the dark, reading something with house in the title, and reading a novella. 3 prompts down pat. So I think I'm gonna do that tonight, and I think I should, I don't remember how long it is, but I feel like I should have enough energy to get through it, but we'll see. I'm gonna do my best, okay? But one other really exciting thing before I go, and I swear I'm gonna try to make this vlog a little bit more interesting tomorrow. We'll see, because like I said, I'm gonna be there the whole day, but we'll figure something out. But before I go, I have exciting mail. Can you see this? Do you know what this is? It's my Winterween merch. I cannot believe it came. I ordered far too late, and that's on me. That's my fault. I forgot, and then by the time I did it, I was convinced it was not going to get here in time, and yet, it came on day 2. It was delivered this evening in my mailbox. I'm so excited. I love the design this year. So Gabby, who is our fearless organizer of this amazing readathon, her sister, Rachel, designs these Ween merch ideas, and she designed this one, and I think it's so cute. So I got the green one. Oh my God, this looks so comfy. Yes. I think tomorrow I'm gonna wear this and no makeup all day, and maybe vlog with no makeup on. What do you think about that? I just think this is like stunning. I love it. And I loved it with the green. I have a summer Ween sweatshirt, and that one is, I have in black, but this one just like felt right to have in green. So that's what I chose. So excited. And listen, Bonfire does such a nice job with their sweatshirts. Like, they're just really cozy, comfy. Oh, she's beautiful. I'm so happy. So happy. And that is my exciting news. I'm gonna head to bed, try and get through The Doll's House tonight, and I will see you in the morning, and we'll hopefully have a little bit more vlogging time and a lot more reading time. Okay, bye. I'm reading in the dark. If I don't show you, did it even happen? This is proof. Reading in the dark. So attractive. Okay, I'm gonna go read. I'm so excited. Good morning. It is Winterween day 3. Day 3. I look a mess, and we don't care, right? Nobody cares. I just woke up. I had a little coffee and did a little bit of reading. This is not working for me. I did a little bit of reading of This Cursed House, but now I need to tackle some editing really quick. And by really quick, I mean it's probably going to take me hours. And we're going to get it done as quickly as possible. But I did want to share with you that I finally finished a book for this readathon. So that's exciting. Last night I told you I was going to read The Doll's House. It's a novella. I was going to read in the dark, and it has the word house in it, so it tackles 3 challenges, which is beautiful. And I did that. I read the whole thing last night, and I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't like it, like at all. There was like a brief glimmer of hope in the beginning. I had a feeling that there would be dolls involved, and there was a doll involved, and I was like, ooh, I love a creepy doll. Let's do this. But I don't know whether it is that I just don't enjoy like short stories and novellas. I don't think there's enough time to really give you a proper plot and character arc and growth and story, and maybe that's what it was, but I just felt like nothing happened. Like things happened, but nothing happened. It was so rushed, and none of it was horrific or really twisty. Like it was kind of, you know, I saw all of it coming like from a mile away. And I don't know. It didn't, for me, it didn't work. So the premise of this story is we have this mother and daughter, Jules and Scout. They are leaving New York City and moving in with the mother's new boyfriend. The mother, Jules, is a widow, lost her husband, I think 2 or 3 years ago, and now she's packing up her and her teenage daughter to move in with her new boyfriend. And her teenage daughter does not want to move, does not want to do this. She's like, he's a nice guy, but like, I don't want to leave school on my senior year, leave all my friends, go to this new house. Like, I don't want to be here. This isn't fair. You know, typical teenage angst stuff, plus dealing with the grief of losing her dad. They move in with this guy. It's like a smart house. So there's like this automated computerized AI voice that allows them access to different rooms, uses facial recognition. This man that they are moving in with is a very famous like puppeteer doll maker. He makes things for Broadway as well as movies and things like that. Almost gives me like a Jim Henson vibe, but like a little bit darker, a little bit creepier. I don't know. That's basically as much as I want to say because it is a short story, so I don't want to give you too much that would spoil basically the entire thing. But it was like from the very beginning, like I'll give you one little tiny spoiler if it even is. In the very, very beginning, when they first move in, Jules, the mother, sees this like girl outside by the pool. She's like, who's that? And Kieran's like, oh, I don't know, maybe an intern or something. Like, I'm not sure, you know, there's people all around. I immediately knew exactly who it was. Like, I immediately knew, and that was something that was revealed at the end, but like, it was obvious. It was so obvious who it was. I don't know. I do like Lisa Unger. I do like her books. I've enjoyed what I've read of hers, and she has another book coming out soon that I look forward to. So I don't want to say it was the writing. I just think for me, short stories, novellas, they're just not my thing, I guess. So I'm gonna give it 2 stars. It was fine for what it was, but it just wasn't my cup of tea, I'll say. But since I finished that, I have completed technically 3 prompts within that one novella. So that's Lovely. Anyway, I'm going to turn on the computer and get some work done, and I will check in with you later, hopefully when I don't look like this anymore, and let you know what's going on for the rest of the day once I complete the to-do list that I have. All right, talk to you soon.
Sacred words inside us fit in yes words and thunderbolts. Set old dreams, new mediocre, find new ways to overdrive.
Hello. I'm finished with editing, freshly laundered. It is much later. It's now almost 5 o'clock. I'm officially free to read. And I planned originally to try and get through this Cursed House today, but I did start listening to it a little bit on audiobook, and I don't know if you can tell, you may have seen some bits and pieces here and there. I need to take my Christmas decorations down, and that would be a perfect time to listen to that audiobook. So I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I think that's my plan, is to do that tomorrow while I listen to that audiobook. So that means today I get to tackle a different book, which I'm excited about. So I think what I'm going to start now is Horror Store. I want to do this next because if I read this, then I'm like done with all the prompts technically, because this is the only one on my TBR that's over 5 years old. So I definitely need to get to this sooner than later. So I think I'm going to start with this today, and we'll see how that goes, how far it goes. If it doesn't grip me, maybe I'll switch to something else. But for now, this is my plan, is to get into this. Guys, I've owned this book for years. I never noticed the back of this. Can you see how cool this looks? It's like creepy. I don't think I ever, it's the same picture, but like, I love that. I really have never paid attention. Interesting. Anyway, I think I'm gonna get started with this. If it's not intriguing, if it's not gripping my attention, maybe I will try American Rapture. Or this is not on my TBR, but I did just get my Book of the Month box, and A Killing Cold was one of my selections, and this just screams Winterween to me. I mean, literally there's snow on the cover. It says the word cold. It takes place in like a secluded winter setting. So this might be an easy, fun one to get to. It's also under 300 pages. So I might also try and sneak this into my TBR. We'll see. But for now, I'm gonna get started with this, and I will let you know what I think when I get a little bit into it. All right, happy reading.
You can find me out there. Look for that circling square. Can you see me? I'm right here. I'm right here. Little too soon, bound to the moon, mystery veils and shadow work. Sad old dreams, new mediocre, still in search of yellow ochre.
I just realized I only have like 60 pages until the end of this book. This book is so much fun. Like, so much fun. First of all, I've only been reading for maybe an hour and a half, and I'm like almost done with it. So it's flying by. I mean, I had a feeling because there's pictures and it's a weird formatted book, so I had a feeling it was going to be quicker than normal. I should have known. I should have known with Grady Hendrix. He has this way of making things so creepy and sometimes like gross, but at the same time like ridiculous and silly and funny and outlandish. This book is about a store called Orsk, which is a knockoff store of IKEA, basically. So it's in this world, IKEA does exist, and this is just like IKEA, but a little bit cheaper, I guess. And we're following these employees who work there. There's a manager and then a couple of employees. They've been dealing with some weird shit happening at night. They come in the morning and things are destroyed and smashed and dirty, and like they found like gross smells and stains on like couches and stuff. So they decide to stay overnight to try and figure out what's going on. If somebody's like breaking in and vandalizing the property. They start this night like with 3 employees, the manager and 2 employees, and they're just gonna like, you know, see if anyone sneaks in, see what's going on. As the night goes on, things go absolutely bananas. Like I don't even know where we are right now. I don't even know what's happening. It's become like so ridiculous, but at the same time, I like am having the best time with it. Like I'm having so much fun. I've read now officially all of Grady's books, and I would say that this book gives me the most similar comparison to like my best friend's exorcism. I mean, I think all of his books have some humor to them and some like outlandish plot points to them. I'm looking over here because 3 of his books are right here on the wall. Let me see, because I'm trying to remember. Like, I feel like Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires also has some like silliness to it. Final Girl Support Group and How to Sell a Haunted House feel a little bit more serious, I guess you could say. We Sold Our Souls also has some more lighthearted horror, but I think this is reminding me the most of My Best Friend's Exorcism, which is one of my favorite books of his of all time, because it's so fun and it's so witty and nostalgic and creepy, but also like in like a fun way. And this is giving me that same vibe. Like there's so many like crazy things happening, and also there's like pictures along the way. So we have like pictures as if it's like an IKEA magazine, sort of. But what I didn't realize is that the pictures get a little bit more insidious as the book goes on. So like it starts out with like, you know, average things like couches and wardrobes and storage solutions and things like that. But now we're getting these like pictures that do not belong in a furniture catalog at all. And I don't want to show you because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's just becoming like more and more insidious as the book goes on. And like, I don't know where it's going. I don't know how it's going to end. Things are weird. Things are weird and things are gross. Gross, gross, gross. But like, I'm loving it. I'm having so much fun. And I literally was like, oh, I'm almost finished. And then I was like, shit, I haven't said anything to you guys yet. Oopsie daisy. That's my update. I'm going to finish this right now because I'm like so close. So I'm going to finish this. I'll let you know my final thoughts when I'm done.
Well, you can find me out there. Look for that circling square. Can you
I'm giving this 5 stars. I honestly can't believe I'm giving this 5 stars, but at the same time, it makes all the sense in the world. I should have known that Grady Hendrix would knock it out of the park. Yet again, I love him. I just love him. His writing is so, to me, it's what horror should be. Like it's gross and graphic and horrific, nasty and horrible and outrageous, but it also is so well written and it grips you from the minute you start, and there's nothing mundane about any of the sentence structuring or anything. It's so good. It's so good. I feel like it left on a cliffhanger and I want more, which I know it's been a really long time, but can we get more? Okay, so a perfect example of his writing. This is the first sentence of the book, okay? It was dawn and the zombies were stumbling through the parking lot, streaming toward the massive beige box at the far end. Right off the bat, zombies, horrific visual, right? And it's actually talking about the employees that are showing up for their shift at this store. It's just so smart. I just love his writing. The way he did this book is brilliant. I haven't seen much like this. Mixed media is always impressive and always entertaining and fun and exciting, but this is like something totally unique that I've never seen before. Like it really was like reading a magazine. And like I said, the way that things transformed throughout the book, from like your average things you would find in a furniture magazine to like these crazy drawings and like the descriptions of each one, because like it'll be like clear the room and clear away your worries. No matter what size your home, the wardrobe offers a place to store the things you need but don't want to look at every day. Like totally average and normal and whatever. But then like later on, it's like unwind on the cushion firm mattress as this elegantly designed wheeled stretcher transfers you to the destination of your choice, whether it's a fast-paced trip to an urgent care center or a more leisurely cruise to the coroner's office. Gurney delivers you in style and comfort. Like, so smart. So smart. I absolutely loved this more than I even expected to. I think I thought I would have fun with it, but I didn't think it was gonna like be a 5-star by any means, but it just gave me the 5-star vibes. For real. For real, for real. This is backwards. For real. Although I kind of like this side better. Anyway, I finished and it was 5 stars and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have a 5-star after The Doll's House being kind of a letdown. Like, I'm so happy that I had a solid 5-star in this readathon. And now whatever happens, happens. Also, what's really exciting is that in 2 days, Witchcraft for Wayward Girls comes out, which is Grady Hendrix's newest book that I have been dying to get my hands on. And it's finally coming out. And with any luck, maybe we'll have another 5 stars from Grady later this week. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. I've read 2 books now for the readathon, 2 books down. I think all of the prompts, technically, I've knocked off, technically. Let me think. Read a book 5 years or older. Got it. Read a horror or thriller. Got it. Read a short story or novella. The Doll's House. Read in the dark. Doll's House. Read something with house on the cover in the title. Doll's House. I completed all 5 prompts. Look at me go. And we still have 4 days left, which is awesome. Woohoo. Woohoo. Still have 3 books on my TBR officially, and technically could read more. I could read less. Who's to say? I'm so happy I can't believe it took me this long. But this is why prompts like this, as scary as they are, like, I will say out of all the prompts, that was the one that I was the most intimidated by, because often a book that's 5 or more years old is going to be something you've had for a while, right? Sitting on your TBR and putting off for a while. Had I not had that prompt during this winterween, I don't know when I would have gotten to this. And now I have another 5-star and I have another Grady Hendrix in the bag. So anyway, I'm gonna go make some dinner, maybe watch a little TV and veg for a bit, but then I will probably get back to reading something. And I will let you know when I know what that will be. I just turned on YouTube to find something to watch while I had dinner. Gabby had a new Winterween vlog, her first one. I've never felt cooler. Look at what she's wearing. Okay. Look at what I'm wearing. I have never felt so cool in my entire life. Like, are we twins? Are we twins? I had no idea she picked the green, but I picked the green and now we both have the green. Also, in this vlog, she's premiering her like music video. She always does like a rewrite to a Taylor song, but for Winterween or Summerween, and then they do a music video, her and her sister, and they're always adorable and hysterical. She did Fortnite for this one, and it might be my favorite one yet. I have laughed out loud several times, and they are so cute, and I can't stand it. I'm actually watching it for a second time now. Gabby will never see this, but Gabby, if you for some reason do see this, A freaking plus work. You and Rachel kill it every year, and this might be my favorite. So obsessed. Also, if you need an extra in your next one, let a girl know. Just saying. I had to share that because I literally was like, oh my god, she's wearing the same sweatshirt as me. Who am I? Anyway, I'm gonna eat dinner. I haven't decided when I'm gonna read yet, but I'll let you know when I do.
I'm right here. Take a breath in, sigh out, shoulders down, see you there. Can you see me? Huh. Can you see me? Huh. I'm right here. I'm right here.
I look crazy. I probably shouldn't update you in a hat, but it's freaking cold. It's cold. I'm about to head out in this 20-degree weather to go to work. Lucky me. Happy Winterween, day 4. Right? Yeah, look at me updating in the morning with daylight. Can you believe? Last night I didn't read anything. I said I was going to pick another book. I did not. I read nothing. I have no excuse other than I was just being lazy. But this morning I did read with my coffee. I've been trying to do this thing where I've been like getting up, making a coffee and reading for an hour every morning. And so far we're like 13 days into the month and it's going well. So that's exciting. But I did read for a little bit of American Rapture. This one. I read like 40 pages, I think, of American Rapture. So far, it's intriguing. It's definitely got a lot of religious undertones, which I should have known. But this girl is in a very strict religious family, and she is, I think, a twin, and her twin is no longer there. At first, I thought he might have died or gotten kidnapped, but now it seems like he might be institutionalized, but we don't know why yet. She keeps just referencing it. Her parents are very sheltering. They don't let her go anywhere, do anything. Was homeschooled up until recently, and now she's going to school in the church. It was suggested that she needed to like socialize and stuff, so they've decided to let her go to a school, but it's at church. I think this is all leading to literally the end of the world, and I don't know where it's going, but right away, I just love her writing. CJ Leede is just such a good writer, like such a good writer. I'm just obsessed. It's feeling very much as exciting and fresh as Mayfly did. I didn't expect to be following a teenager, so that's a little surprising, but we'll see where that's going. So far, I'm totally digging it. I do have to go to work. When I get home, we'll try to finish this. I'm bringing it with me. We'll see if I get any reading done on the way there, but when I get home, we're gonna try and finish this tonight. And that is my plan for day 4. So I'll see you later.
Can you see me? See me? Catch the moment.
And just like that, she's home. It's actually so bitter cold outside. I can't even begin to explain how miserable it is. I'm home early, not early, but the time I'm supposed to be home. It's still light out, which is amazing. I have another like hour of daylight. Woo-hoo. Should be able to get some reading done this afternoon, which is awesome. I have to probably do a little bit of editing. Hopefully it won't be like 12 hours worth like I had the other day. So I'm gonna get a little bit of that done maybe, and then we will check in and chat about our reading plans for the rest of the evening. I'm so excited, so excited. But I'm home. This is the content you signed up for. You're welcome.
When you greet me, I'm going to be standing right here.
Wounds unravel forever. Sing again. Skeletons are now our friends. You can find me out there. Look for that circling square. Can you see me? I'm right here. Take a breath in, sigh out. With shoulders down, I'll see you there.
Guys, look how pretty the sky is right now. I don't know if it's like gonna pick up, but like, it's so pretty. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Obviously, when I said that I had like an hour left of daylight, I was not lying. So it is 5:30. The sun has set and I'm done with my edits for today. I have this is like a New Year's resolution. I don't know why I'm sharing this, but you might wanna, no, you don't wanna know. This is one of my New Year's resolutions. In case you care, I have decided that I am going to do an hour minimum, an hour of reading every morning before I go to work. 1 hour. I make my coffee, I set an alarm, and I do an hour so that I know that no matter what happens throughout the day, I've already done some reading that day. Like, plus it like keeps me off my phone because I used to make my coffee and then sit and like doom scroll, and that's horrible. So I've been doing that ever since the first, and I also have been trying to do an hour of editing every day so that instead of like spending entire days editing a video, I'm doing like a little bit here and there. I've had a really hard time sticking to this because once I start, like once I'm in the groove, it's hard for me to like stop, and there's not always like a clear place to stop, you know, like you're in the middle of doing something and you're like, all right, well, I'll just do like the next clip, and then I'm like, okay, well, I only have one more clip. Okay, well, now I just want to put like the music, and oh, let me just add some graphics here, and oh, well, now I should probably like rewatch it, and oh, let me just really quickly make an intro, and like it gets away from me. That's why the other day I literally sat there for like 12 hours straight editing one single vlog, which is not good. But this goal is trying to put a stop to that. I don't want like entire days sucked up by that, and I want to just have it be part of my day, but like not devote entire days to it, you know? Anyway, I did manage to stop, which I'm very proud of. I just sat down to do some reading. I probably... Of course, as soon as I sat down, I was like, should I make dinner? Because I kind of want to make carbonara. I make carbonara far too often. Just saying. I kind of want to make dinner, but I just sat down because I want to make a dent in American Rapture. That's my plan for tonight, is to finish her, if I might be so bold as to say. I mean, I don't know, but, and then I am, if I'm still up late enough, I'm going to download Witchcraft for Wayward Girls on my Kindle at midnight when it comes out. I don't know if it actually comes out at midnight. Like, how does that work? I know people like download ebooks like late at night when things release, but like, I'm not sure. Yeah, but I'll probably download that tonight, and then if I can finish this, then I can focus on that tomorrow. And then I still have this Cursed House, which I've been doing on audiobook, but like just basically on my commutes, which are usually like 10 minutes. So I'm not getting a lot done there, but I do have it here in case the mood strikes. This book is like so bright, it's making my face look... Okay, anyway, that's the plan for tonight. I'm so excited that I'm like sitting down to read this early in the night, like, because I feel like normally I'm not sitting down to read until it's like 9, and I'm like, oh, I'll be lucky if I get like half an hour in before I fall asleep. So go me. But I'll update you if I have an update. Hopefully it's a reading update. This vlog is gonna be so boring. You know what it is too? Another tangent. I love Winterween. Like, love it. Love the themes and reading the scary books. My Winterween vlog last year I felt like was really boring, and I'm feeling the same thing with this one. And you know what I think it is? It's like the time of year, it's so fucking cold out that the idea of going anywhere or doing anything is like just not an option. Like, I am in full hibernation mode. So like that's pretty much like every January for me. I'm just like hiding in my apartment as much as I can unless I'm at work. So it's hard to like make a vlog interesting when you like refuse to go anywhere and like refuse to leave your house. But whatever. If I give you just reading updates, hey, it's a reading vlog, right? Anyway, I'm gonna go read, maybe make some carbonara, and I'll check in with you in a little while. Peace.
Cancer called me today. Is it gonna take your loved ones away? It's time their minds don't live here anymore. They've been sold, raped, torn, now old. Where do we go? Help me get into the shower. It's been 100,000 minutes past the hour. The fuse refused to stop this burnout. A tango de la muerte. Now to the crowd. Ooh. it slow. Gonna go in now.
The hair is going up because we mean business. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it, we're going live. Oh my god. I'm so tired. It is very late, but I have not been able to put this book down. I have like 20 pages left. Tell me why I almost just started crying at this book. This book, in case you forget. How does she do it? How does she do it? This is the most chaotic, I mean appropriately so, chaotic book. It's just like non-stop action, non-stop stress, anxiety. It's got a lot of pandemic PTSD going on. It's also got a lot of like Catholic girl religious PTSD going on. I was not raised in a home anywhere near as extreme as this, but my God, some of the like Bible stuff and like lessons and everything, I was like, oh, I remember that. But tell me why I am like almost crying at this book. Like I am not well. I'm not well. My feelings are being hurt, and I send it back. I don't understand why this is happening. But like every time I think I know where it's going, something happens that I'm like, holy shit. CJ Lead is amazing. But also, how dare her? How dare her do what she just did? How dare her? If any of you have read this book or own this book, I will tell you that the chapter I speak of is titled Inferno. How dare her write that chapter? How dare her? I only have like 20 pages left, so I don't even know how this is going to wrap up, but let's finish it and then I'll give you final thoughts. Crazy. I don't even know what I just read. Clearly I loved this considering how quickly I read it. I pretty much read, I don't know, 300 pages in one sitting. Couldn't put it down. This takes your run-of-the-mill zombie apocalypse story and completely turns it on its head with sexual undertones, with religious undertones. Some of the craziest freaking shit. Very hard to look at, very hard to watch, very painful. But like, you can't stop. Like, you can't stop. And I think what she does so well, and I felt this way about Mayfly, is the interpersonal relationships throughout this horror. Because nobody's a perfect individual, right? Everybody has their flaws. Everybody is flawed. But when you're dealing with something so traumatic and so outlandish, so chaotic, so difficult, it really like brings people together, and she does that so well. Like Morrow is my husband. I will not be taking any questions at this time. Ben, cutie patootie, total sweetheart. Vargas. The zombie apocalypse part of it was crazy. The way that this disease manifests is insane. Insane and gross and oh my God. And she wrote it beautifully, like beautifully. But what really, really takes it to a whole other level is the religious fanatics that get involved. Because you know the type. You know the type that are like, okay, has anyone ever seen the show The Leftovers, where all of a sudden all these people went missing in the entire world? Like, people just disappeared. Babies, adults, old, young, kids, adult, like all over the place. And the people left behind, the leftovers, were left to grapple with, like, were those people raptured because they're sinners? Are we the sinners because we were left behind and they were taken to heaven? Like, what is happening? Is it even like what actually happened? And there are some religious fanatics that took it to such an extreme and just have these radicalized, brainwashed thoughts. And that was so similar to this. Like, there was this whole group that just thought that what was happening in this apocalypse was a good thing. And they wanted to make sure it was gonna keep happening. Oh, it was I don't even know. I don't even have words. I feel like I just like absorbed this story and now I can't like say coherent thoughts at all. A little bit slow to begin. I will say pacing wise, it went from 0 to 100, like a little bit slow. And then all of a sudden it was like nonstop the rest of the way. I wouldn't say that this is, I say this all the time. I hate comparing books because it doesn't feel fair. But I will say Mayfly to me, exceeded Mayfly for me was a much more fresh, exciting, new, unique book than this is. I think that this is, I'm not going to say something you see every day, but I don't think this is like a, oh my God, I've never heard of anything like this type of story, if that makes sense. That being said, it was incredibly well done. She took it like to so many extremes that I can't even, what is her brain? Like, what is her brain? Also, can we talk about her? Like, look, this beautiful, gorgeous girl just writes the craziest fucking shit. And I would love to be inside her brain because I can't even imagine. I'm giving this a 4.5 star. Like, it's not a 5 star, but it's not a 4 star. Like, it's better than a 4. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with a 4.5, somewhere in there. I loved it. I loved it. And I think that this is one that I could see reading again. I also think this is one that I could see recommending to a wide amount of people. You know how there's some books that you just like, you almost feel like almost anyone could vibe with it? Like, this is something that I feel like, as long as you're okay with graphic depictions of things, I think almost anyone could vibe with this book because it's just like a crazy action-packed rapture. And yeah, very American, very American. Chuck Wendig, who's another horror author, he called it a feverish ride through a uniquely American apocalypse. And that is so true. A deeply compelling descent through an unraveling heartland, sure to rattle the cages of our puritanical nightmare country. With a heart as innocent as that of its heroine, American Rapture is a brave book, a daring book, and most of all, a timely book. And that's another thing. Very much timely for so many reasons. The religious aspect, but also the pandemic thing, you know, like how do you, quarantine? Do you listen to the government? Do you not listen to the government? Do we want a cure? How do we get the cure? Do we all trust the cure? Like, all of those things, like, it feels so familiar, and it's so weird to say that you can like read an apocalyptic book and feel like, oh yeah, I remember living through that. Like, our lives are crazy. Anyway, I finished. It's my 3rd book, so woohoo. I'm gonna go to bed.
Cancer called me today.
Happy day 5 of Winterween. It's a very exciting day because today is the release for Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I had every intention of going to Barnes when I got done with work to pick up a copy because for some reason Amazon like doesn't have them in stock, so it's gonna take like a couple weeks to get one, which is weird. So I was gonna go to Barnes, but it is freaking freezing out. I could not convince myself to do it. Like, just the walk alone, it felt impossible. It felt literally impossible. So I headed straight home. But the good news is I actually already downloaded it on Kindle. So I've already started it. I'm maybe 20% through. Thoughts so far? I don't have many. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like nothing has really happened yet that's like horror related. Like, it's Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, and we have Wayward Girls, but we have no witchcraft yet. 0. So I'm assuming it's coming. This follows a girl who finds herself dealing with a teenage pregnancy in the 1970s. Her family sends her to a home for unwed mothers where she can basically give birth and then give the baby away and come home like nothing ever happened, which is horrific on its own. There is so much conversation about pregnancy and like the weird things that a woman's body does. That in itself definitely can be horrific and graphic for some, but as far as like, witchcraft, monsters, any of that stuff, like, there's nothing happening yet. It almost feels like I'm reading a historical fiction book right now. It's also very impressive to me that this was written by a man. I don't know if it's like impressive or if I should be like, what the fuck, Grady? But like, you would think that only a woman who's been through these things would be able to describe what it feels like to be pregnant and the changes in your body and all of that. So far, Grady seems to be doing a great job. I've never been a mother, been pregnant, so I don't know how accurate the representation is, but it feels very authentic. I have to imagine, just knowing him and the care he typically takes with his books, I have to imagine he did a significant amount of research to get this specific on what it might feel like. So it's very interesting so far. I'm hoping that the horror starts to peak up sooner rather than later, just because, I don't know. I was looking forward to the witchcraft part, so I'm waiting for that part, you know? But that is my update. Like I said, I was gonna go get the book, but can't do it, can't be bothered. So my plan is to keep going on my Kindle with this and hopefully finish it tonight. I think I have like 6 hours, 5 hours, something like that. So we'll see. We'll see. I will keep you updated. I'll let you know if it starts to make a little more sense why this was categorized as a horror. I will let you know, but fingers crossed. Hello, happy Winterween Day 7. We are here to close out this video because we finished all the books. Who is she? Who is she? I don't know her. When have I ever completed an entire TBR for a readathon? Like, I don't think that's ever happened in my life. But I think that number one, I made sure that what was on my TBR was things that I was truly excited about. And number two, I didn't go overboard. I didn't try to do 7 books in 7 days. I didn't try to do full-length novels only. I allowed myself to take my time. And that is a great lesson for me to learn. Setting goals that are realistic is very helpful in order to feel accomplished at the end of a reading challenge, readathon, whatever you want to call it. So exciting. So I owe you updates on 2 books. Yesterday I did not talk to you guys at all, because honestly it was just a really busy day. I went to work. I did read some of Witchcraft for Wayward Girls while I was at work. I got pretty far into it, and then I also had plans for my friend's birthday last night, so I went out with them, and that was really fun, but I did not have time to update you in between that. When I got home last night, I was able to finish Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I think I had like an hour left on the ebook, so I need to tell you about that. I really haven't updated you since the first 20% when I told you that there was no, looks like a military helicopter. Can I help you? I said there was no witchcraft at the time, and that's true. So it did take a good quarter of the book to even get to the place where some magic / horror things began to happen. I do think that the focus on this book was not with the witchcraft. I think the witchcraft was a vehicle, a tool to really show the actual horrors of these homes for wayward girls, the way that women were treated, the way that they were basically left with no decision-making abilities, with no respect for their own decisions, for their bodies, for what they wanted, for their children. All of it was taken away from them. Obviously, it's a very timely book in the way society is today, but it was definitely very hard to read and definitely very horrific. There was a lot of very graphic, I don't want to call it body horror because it was all natural stuff, but there was a lot of very graphic depictions of body things having to do with pregnancy and the like. As far as the witchcraft goes, I think it was very minimal, but I did enjoy it. I think it was very much based on the fact that women kind of historically have always had to go a little bit above and beyond in order to have autonomy. So whether that's using spells to get what they need, get what they want, protect themselves, it's like they had no choice so many times in history but to go to these extremes in order to protect themselves. And that's what it came down to. I mean, I do think there were some interesting, creepy moments, disturbing moments with the witchcraft, but for the most part, I feel like that part was like the least of the concern as far as horror goes. Overall, though, I thought it was incredibly well done. I did read the note at the back from Grady Hendrix, and he does discuss how much research he did and how many people he spoke to, because he was like, not only am I not a woman, but I am not a father, I have no children, I have no idea what it's like to be in this situation, and so he spoke to so many people to get it right. I respect the hell out of that. I think that it's shocking that a male author was able to pull this off so flawlessly, but that just goes to show you what kind of writer Grady is. I think he's just super talented. Super, super talented. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Grady Hendrix by any means. I think it was good, but I think it's very different to what he normally writes. I think there was a lack of... It's funny because I read Horror Store earlier in this blog, and I was talking about how he uses humor in his horror so often, and I think there was a lack of that. There was a little bit, but there was a lack of that here, and I think that that was on purpose because he took care with this topic and didn't want to make light of it in any way. And so I think that's totally valid and fair, but I also think it's very unlike a lot of his other work. So I think it's a different type of story for him, but I do think he did an amazing job with it. For me, not my favorite, and so I think because of that I'm going to go with a 4-star because it wasn't my perfect horror book. I think I personally enjoyed Horror Store quite a bit more just because it was more fun. This was not a fun book. It was not fun to read about. It was actually very difficult to read about at times. It was like hard to read, but well worth reading. So I definitely recommend it. I just would go in with the knowledge that this isn't going to be some silly, goofy horror book. Go in with that knowledge and I think you'll have a great time. Or you'll enjoy it. I wouldn't say a great time. It's not a great time. And then the final book that I completed during this readathon was This Cursed House. Ironically, the first book I started is the last book I finished. I had a hard time getting through this, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I did listen to the audiobook throughout the week, and then this morning I did some coloring while I listened to the last 3 hours of it. Definitely struggled with this one. There just wasn't any drive to pick it up. I think that was my biggest issue. It was an incredibly well-written book and very atmospheric and eerie at times, and it had a lot going for it, but at the same time it felt so slow. It felt like nothing really was happening, and I just didn't have any drive to want to continue throughout the book. There was never a time where I was like, ooh, I need to know what happens next. I was just kind of meh the entire time. So thank God I had it on audiobook because I was able to just knock out a good chunk of it while I was doing things at work, and then when I got home today and finished the last chunk of this. So I unfortunately think I need to give it 3 stars. I almost want to give it lower than that, but I do think the writing was really good, and I do think that this is going to work for a lot of people. I just don't think it worked for me. I think I need a much more fast-paced horror story than this provided. I think I need more twists and turns and intrigue and suspense, and I just don't think this had that personally. But I do think that for many people this would work very well. So I think a 3 star is fair, I think. So that is the end of this video. I'm thrilled to have been able to complete my entire TBR. These 3 plus the novella and Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, which I still have not bought a copy, but I will. I had a fantastic time reading spooky books in the winter, as I always do. I am so grateful to Gabby for being the wonderful, amazing host that she is and working so hard. I can't even imagine what goes into doing something like this. And she does it so flawlessly and makes it seem so easy. I mean, if you think about all the things that somebody does during a readathon, right? They're reading all the books in 1 week. That's hard enough. Then if you add vlogging into that, and she was not only vlogging, but putting out a video every 2 days. So she's doing filming and editing and reading all the books. Then on top of that, she is looking at the Instagram, reposting people's things, commenting on things, keeping everybody's spirits up, doing reading sprints. I can't even begin to imagine how hard it is. And I hope that she feels super accomplished because I had a great time. I think everyone had a great time, and she always does an amazing job. Also, Rachel, her sister, beautiful, beautiful artwork for this round of Winterween. Love it. I love my sweatshirt. It's so cozy and it's so cute, and I am so excited to have it and to have it as a memory of this fun little week we had. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you participated in Winterween, let me know what you read. Let me know what your favorite book that you read was. Let me know if you have read any of the books I read and if you felt similarly or totally different. I'm all ears, and I will see you in another video very soon. Hopefully. Bye.